I'm here with Marilyn Lee, the Executive Director of Loving Houston. And so we should probably start at the beginning. Marilyn, what is Loving Houston?
So Loving Houston is a nonprofit. We were started with this idea of how do we help churches to love Houston. And we decided really early on that by helping churches to love schools, to build relationships with the students, with the parents, with the teachers, that is going to make the most long-term impact. So we help churches to volunteer in local public schools.
Okay, so what are the needs that schools have that churches can really engage with?
Yeah, there are so many. Within our schools, there are challenges of poverty, of homelessness, of hunger, broken families. There are kids who are at risk of being trafficked. There are victims of trafficking in our schools. There are kids who just come from broken families, drug abuse, child abuse, foster care, so many different challenges within our schools that churches can help with.
So let's talk about some successes. What have you seen come about from church-school partnerships?
Yeah. One of my favorite stories is about Willow Ridge High School down in Fort Bend ISD. So Richard and Susan Lazaro are both on staff at Willow Ridge. Susan is a math specialist there, and Richard, Coach Laz, is the head football coach. I happened to run into one of their coworkers at a restaurant. I overheard these two ladies talking, and they were apparently teachers. They were struggling in their schools. And so after dinner, I introduced myself and I said, hey, I'm with Loving Houston. We're helping churches to volunteer with schools. If y'all are interested, let me know. And so one of the ladies took my business card back, gave it to Coach Laz, who she knew was a Christian. Richard and Susan, their ministry is their work at their school. And so she knew that he would be interested, and he was. He came to one of our workshops at UVA, and he caught the vision there. So he left from the workshop. He contacted all these churches that were in his area, and Second Baptist South stepped up. And so what Second Baptist South did from the very beginning was, because Coach Laz is the football coach, he saw that his students were having trouble finishing out football games, like they were passing out, and he realized it was because they were hungry. And so Second Baptist stepped up by providing a meal after school before the game. So it's just a simple way to show God's love in a tangible way. They've also created a resource room at Willow Ridge. So they were realizing that a lot of the students didn't have just some basic needs, like basic school supplies, food, different clothes, uniforms, things like that. And so they created this resource room that is a very discreet way for kids who need something to just go downstairs to that resource room and pick up whatever they need and go back to class. So it saves these students from a lot of embarrassment that they would otherwise have that may cause them to even skip school. So that's just a simple way that Second Baptist is showing God's love.
Yeah.
And then another thing, they did this one Saturday where Willow Ridge had a need for a lot of campus improvements. And so they had gone to the district, and the district was saying, this is going to take a long time, 3 to 4 months to complete all of these things. And Second Baptist was like, no, we're going to do all this on one Saturday. And so the district realized they were serious. They came in with some supplies and things. Second Baptist sent like hundreds of volunteers to Willow Ridge on a Saturday, and they knocked it all out. Like they completed every single thing on that one Saturday. So just different tangible ways of showing God's love to the students, to the parents, to the teachers at the school.
Wow. So anytime a relationship between schools and churches gets brought up, there might be some suspicion on the part of churches that schools might just be looking for free labor. Schools might be suspicious of churches, that they're just looking to recruit new members. Have you come across that? How do you deal with that?
Yeah, absolutely. So one thing that we really encourage in our workshops for churches is that churches need to come in with no agenda. Like, this is not a church growing program that we're endorsing here. It's really an opportunity for the church to build a relationship with that school, no strings attached, but just asking how the church can help. So we're very clear about that from the very front end. So schools are, their fears are often allayed by that. And then on the school side, we're also expecting that, maybe they were going to be asking for money or supplies or just stuff. But what we realized was that schools are really looking for relationships. They're looking for caring people to come into the lives of their students, to love them on an individual basis. And so mentors, reading buddies, people who can support and encourage the teachers, those are the most requested things that we get from schools. So really, it really is about the relationship between the church and the school that is beneficial for both sides.
Okay, so how can churches learn more about how to get engaged and get some training?
Yeah, so our website is lovinghouston.net. On that first page, there is a link that will lead you to our workshops. So we hold regular workshops where we help train and equip churches to build a relationship with the school. We also hold leader luncheons where churches who are already in some kind of relationship with the school can come and just share ideas and best practices and be encouraged in the work that they're doing. You can also email me at Marilyn@lovinghouston.net or info@lovinghouston.net. Might be simpler.
All right, thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having me.